Microsoft Surface Laptop 3 in the 13-inch and the 15-inch version. They are both here. We got your comments on our unboxing video as to which has the better specs, which has the better performance, and we are here today to help you make your decision on which to buy.
Absolutely. I tested both devices all night last night, and I have to say there were some shocking results. It started off like one of these devices felt like a beta version back in the 90s. I know that sounds very brutal, but the Geekbench results that were coming up, that was just out of this world. So I tested all night. I'm very tired. I tested GPU, CPU, RAM, light gaming we tested. So if you are new to our channel, make sure you like and subscribe because I'm super tired.
Super grumpy.
But we do it for you, and we do awesome tech reviews and more, but mainly awesome tech reviews. Today is one of these days.
First things first, I have chosen the basic configuration for both devices, and the Microsoft Surface Laptop 3 15-inch ships with the AMD Ryzen 5 Microsoft Edition and has up to 3.7 GHz of speed, and also comes with AMD Radeon Vega 9. Whereby the 13-inch version comes with the Intel Core i5 10th generation Ice Lake, also has up to 3.7 GHz of speed, Intel Iris Plus, both have 4 cores, 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of SSD storage, and both ship with Windows 10 Home 64-bit version. As for the I/O, the Surface Laptop 3 has a single USB-A port, a single USB-C port, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and Microsoft's proprietary Surface Connect charging port. And guys, this is the first year the laptop has included a USB-C port, which replaces the old mini display port on prior models. First thing I noticed right out of the box, when you look at the Surface 3 13-inch on the left hand side, you have the installed RAM of 8 GB as advertised on the box, right? So when you look at in brackets, it says 7.6 GB usable. Good, fair enough. There's a little small gap. We can deal with that. However, we move on to the Surface Laptop number 3 15-inch on the right hand side, and there is an installed RAM of 8 GB also as advertised. But then when you look at in brackets, it says 5.98. Let's make it 6 GB of RAM, which is actually usable. That means your 15-inch Surface Laptop 3 comes only with 6 GB of RAM, which is usable, and that also resonated in our test, in our gaming test later on.
So that's the basic information. We wanted to do an actual deep dive on the capabilities of these two machines, 13-inch and 15-inch, and we tested the with AC and without AC to see what the differences would be.
Some scientific testing coming up for the user benchmark results, and I can tell you the theme that started last night is continuing right now.
And for anybody who does not know what user benchmark is, it is a tool that is based on independent team of scientists and engineers, and they compute and analyze millions of benchmarks. Let's start with the user benchmark for the Microsoft Surface 3 13-inch, and on top you will always see battery only. On the bottom will be AC plugged in, so full power. And the user benchmark tool itself does a whole bunch of tests, and you can already see some red marks up there. And basically, if I read it to you, overall this PC is performing below expectation. This means that out of 100 PCs with exactly the same components, 76 perform better. And that was kind of expected for the 13-inch, because when you don't plug it in, you don't have power, or you don't have the full power. It's kind of throttling down in order to save the battery and other components. When the Microsoft Surface 3 13-inch version is plugged in, AC, full power, then you can see overall this PC is performing as expected. And that means that out of 100 PC with exactly the same components, 52 perform better. But overall, it's not bad. The only thing that is really coming up as red mark is the graphics, and we know that the Intel Iris Plus is not really the best graphics and you can't really do 3D games. But so far, so good. Moving on to the graphic card, and the processor itself is the Intel Core i5 and the Intel Iris Plus graphic card. And again, the top has the battery only mode and the bottom is the AC plugged in. And it is above average for just the battery mode, and then very good for when you plug it in and the graphic card really doesn't perform. Don't get put off by when it says terrible or very poor, because all it shows you, it is still in line with the expectations for the graphic card, but overall it's obviously not the best performance. It is below expectations in parts. But if you look at the AC version down there, or when it's plugged into the AC and has full power, it says it's performing as expected. Overall, the graphic card is very poor. When it comes to SSD and memory performance, it is fair to say that whether you are on battery or plugged in and you have your full power, it is really performing well, and it is even performing way above expectations in parts. As for the Microsoft Surface Laptop 3 15-inch version with the AMD Ryzen 5, I'm not sure how to break it to you guys, and that's why I stayed up all night last night. If you look at this is the battery only mode. Overall, this PC is performing way below expectations. This means that out of 100 PCs with exactly the same components, 88 performed better. So I thought, okay, fair enough, maybe the power throttling is really kicking in, and I plug it in. So I plugged it in and ran the same test. There wasn't much change, and I did the test over and over again. And when you look at that, this is full power right now. It says overall this PC is performing below expectation. This means that out of 100 PCs with exactly the same components, 68 performed better. The processor is a bit more green now. Graphics is still red. And if you look at that, 11% is very low 3D score. And this GPU can only handle very basic 3D games, but it is fine for general computing tasks. And we get to this later. Is it really for gaming? What is the Surface Laptop aimed for? But so far for the 15-inch version, I think when you say it's underwhelming, it's probably putting it in a good light already. We have the same process again. The top is the battery only mode and the bottom is plugged in to the wall plug. And it is, again, it's not the best results, but you can see that it is it's slightly better when you plug it in for the AMD Ryzen 5 for the Microsoft Surface Edition. And it kind of says it is above average. So that's okay. That's already a good sign. However, in terms of graphic cards, if you look at that, that is performing below expectations. In terms of memory, it didn't perform as well as the 13-inch version. And I wonder if that is due to the 6GB usable memory. Although it has 8, but it has 6GB. You remember when I said that at the beginning? In terms of SSD, nothing came really up here.
So those results were quite telling, and we move on now to the Geekbench testing.
We do some more scientific probing, and we're going to do 3 tests, one with battery only, one with battery only but high performance mode, and the last one is the AC plugged in to see if there is really a difference. After all, there are portable devices, and we want to test what the performance is on the go.
I also wanted to do some Geekbench results because it is well known out there and everybody can kind of resonate with that. And let's start with the Microsoft Surface 3 13-inch version. And I started with the battery only mode, which is the kind of the regular power saving mode, and the single core comes quite well actually. If you look at that, it's 3800 and the multi-core 1174. Compute came out really well. And I was impressed with that. So what I did, I cranked up the performance to high performance also on battery only mode to see if that makes a difference. And it already did make a difference. If you look at that single core performance, now we're already up to 5451. Multi-core is really good for a basic version for the i5. I think it's brilliant. 17,285, and compute is almost the same. So that is really good. And I thought, what if I plug it in? Does it make any difference? And it actually doesn't make any difference than the high performance version on battery mode only. It is very, very similar. But I was really, really impressed with the Microsoft Surface 3 13-inch version and the Geekbench results. That was pretty cool. Moving on to the Microsoft Surface 3 15-inch version Geekbench result. And man, I don't really know what to tell you. I did exactly the same as for the 13-inch version, and I did the battery only mode, the power mode, and I didn't expect much anyway. But then I did the high performance mode and I plugged it in basically. But if you look at that single core performance and the multi-core performance and the compute performance, I was really shocked. If you look at that results, I thought, okay, fair enough. What if I crank it up? I put it in the high performance mode, and the single core performance and the multi-core performance wasn't actually really that improving. If you look at that, it's like really slightly, it could be a fluctuation. Compute was full there, was also coming up. And then I plugged it in. I thought, okay, this gotta be it, right? So plug it in, full power. And if you then look at the single core performance and the multi-core performance, I'm not sure what to tell you guys. 3902 and 11447 is just not what I expected.
Wow, I can see why you stayed up last night. We are not going to give up though. We're going to do some light gaming testing.
Oh yeah, the Fortnite test. I put it in high settings on 30 FPS, and as you can see, it didn't go higher than 12 or 13 frames per second. I then changed to medium for 30 FPS to see what the results is like. And I kind of got to 30 frames per second almost, but it was very choppy. So I put it on low to see what it's like, and low went well, but that was really not a good quality and it was choppy. So I still wanted to see what 60 FPS in medium settings is like, and that's what I put it on. But I have to say, it is not a gaming laptop, right? It didn't go higher than 32-ish FPS, and guys, there are better laptops for gaming.
So on paper, it does not look good for the 15-inch. Actually, the 13-inch is coming up better in our results.
Yeah, I really want to like the 15-inch. I was so excited to unbox it, to look at it, and it still has a good feel about it. And the question I really have is that when you upgrade to the higher processor, to the highest configuration of the 15-inch, it will probably just be in line with the basic configuration of the 13-inch. And I don't think it should be like that. Now, I do understand that the results and testing we've done is kind of a benchmark result. It's not a real life test, and that's why we're not giving up yet. What I can tell you though is that when we played back some YouTube videos, it stuttered a bit. We are not giving up yet. I'm going to put this through the real life usage for video editing, battery test, how fast does it charge, and many more.
If you have anything that you want to see us test on these two devices, make sure you put it in the comments below and we will do it on our next video.
Jens here from Also Space.
Tony the Card Geek.
Thank you for watching. Peace out.